Where are you guys going?
Chelsea Stadium.
It's a terrible team.
Look at all these players, man.
Yeah, this is Chelsea Stadium. Look at that.
Oh, look. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that your YouTube channel? This is cheap. Oh, look at Lucifer's tree. Look at.
Picture.
Okay, hold.
Yeah. And with Kant as well. You. Zaki.
Black guy.
You know you.
Oh, black guy.
Aaron, wait. Later. Sorry. Yeah, he's got the Chelsea badge.
Right.
Yeah.
English good stuff. Right. What?
Just going to twist that round just so we get the right bit. That's it. Perfect. Okay.
Okay, everyone, if you'd like to come with us, we're going to go into the stadium. Let's find out a bit about yourselves. Have we got any Chelsea fans here today? I think I'm on a loser with this one. One. How about fans of other British clubs? Any other England?
Man United.
Manchester United, Liverpool, and you're Chelsea, aren't you? Yeah, you're the one with the brains. You see, straight away, as soon as I looked at you, I thought, this is a smart boy. Okay, very shortly we'll leave here. We'll go towards the press room, the press box. That's where the journalists watch the game, and also into the press room where they interview the coaches after the games. From there we visit the two changing rooms. The first one is the away changing room, and then we'll go into Chelsea's changing room. We come out into the middle of the pitch here, into the dugout where the coaches, the medical staff and the substitutes sit during the game. Then we'll make our way to the far end of the stadium.
Let's go, Aaron. Mine upstairs. What's it? No. It's my first time here. What is it? It used to be a bit.
Okay, good afternoon everyone and welcome to the press room here at Stamford Bridge. So on your device this is room number 2, so feel free to watch, there's videos on there to watch and some 360 degrees and more information about the press room, but I'll be talking to you about it anyway. So this is where the newspaper journalists work on a match day. So it's a very busy room. Yesterday we played West Ham and there was anything between 80 to 100 journalists using this room, so a very, very busy room. So that's for a Premier League game. For a high-profile Champions League game, there could be up to 200 journalists in here. When we played Barcelona a couple of seasons ago, there were 200 plus journalists in here. So they normally spend about 5 or 6 hours here on a match day. They'll come into this room, they'll get set up, they can plug their laptops in here, they can plug their phones in. There's a good Wi-Fi signal so they can stay in contact with base. And also at the back of the room, they can order any food they like. It's free of charge all day long. It's the best food that Chelsea serve. It comes from hospitality upstairs. This is where it all happens, especially after the game. So the press will watch the game in the area we just walked through, which is called the press box. Then they'll come back here, they'll sit exactly where you are. And first of all, the visiting team manager, the away team manager will come and sit here. Yesterday we played West Ham, so Manuel Pellegrini is sitting here. Unfortunately, he would have been very happy because West Ham had just beaten Chelsea by 1-0, so he would have been happy. The press here will talk to him for 10 or 15 minutes and he will answer their questions and whatever he says to them will be used and would have been put in today's newspapers. So this morning's newspapers will have all the quotes from him. Then once he's done his, Frank Lampard, the Chelsea manager, will come in. Frank Lampard will often bring a couple of players with him. So captain will sit here, although he wasn't captain yesterday. Quite often it says that Azpilicueta will sit here, but he wasn't captain yesterday. And man of the match will sit here. So last season, nearly always Eden Hazard was sitting here, but of course he's no longer with us. But we've got a lot of great young players now, so it could be Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Callum Hudson-Odoi, or more established players like Willian or Pedro and N'Golo Kante, whoever. Three of them will sit here, talk to the press, and answer their questions for 10 or 15 minutes and give them their quotes for today's newspapers. So, as you can imagine, historically Chelsea played all the top teams in Europe, so some great managers have sat up on this platform to talk to the press. In the past, great names like Sir Alex Ferguson of Manchester United and Arsene Wenger of Arsenal. Jose Mourinho has sat here many times as Chelsea manager, as Manchester United manager.
They have their interview. No.
This is where they do match of the day interviews. Ronaldo here, we've got Henry, we've got Suarez, that's Guerrero, yeah, we've got Gerrard,
George Smith.
we've got Ibrahimovic, Bale, sorry. I want to see that Lampard goal, man. Aaron, can you come a bit?
Okay, so around the walls you can see shirts with some of our famous visitors throughout the years. On this wall here, these are mainly European or foreign players that have played in the Premier League.
Sorry.
Along the longer wall here, these are players, mainly UK-born players, British players that have played here in the Premier League and the old First Division, which was the top league before the Premier League. On this wall here, we've got some names of some of our visitors from Champions League games. And then finally, this wall here, these are players that came for friendly or exhibition matches. Right, so this is the changing room for the opponents of Chelsea. You have to admit, really, it's not the most luxurious changing room. It's not very comfortable. It's not very attractive. However, until about 15 years ago, this room was much smaller. We're undefeated for 86 consecutive Premier League games, and that's a record in the Premier League by quite a long way. That record's gone now, but even when Mourinho was coach here, he lost just one game from his first 99 matches at Stamford Bridge. So normally it's a very difficult place to win a game of football. This season it's much different. We've lost 4 times here already, and that's very unusual in the recent times. So it's something we have to put right. But as I say, it's not the most luxurious changing room you'll ever see. We're going to look at Chelsea's changing room now. It's a little bit different to this one, but I'll leave it to you to decide which is the best. Let's look at Chelsea's changing.
Sorry. Oh yeah, I will. Sorry. What, do you want me to take a picture?
Welcome to the Chelsea dressing room. What do you think of it compared to the last one? It's a little bit better, isn't it? It's a little bit bigger. And so it should be, of course. This is Chelsea's home, so of course they'll have the better facilities. And that's typical of any Premier League team, English Football League team, and I'm sure most sports teams around the world. So it's more than just a changing room, really. It's got a clubhouse feel to it. Not only does it have the much larger changing area here, there's a tactics room next door, better shower facilities, an ice bath, more massage tables, the kitchen area. Although the kitchen area is used by medical staff rather than catering staff, those cupboards are full of bandages and sprays and such things. And then of course Frank Lampard, Chelsea manager, just got his office just over there. You probably saw it as you walked in. So, someone mentioned when we came in that the shirts aren't in number order. So they used to be, the players used to sit in their squad number order. But where you see the shirts hanging up now are exactly where the players sit on a match day. So we had a game this, just for those of you that are Chelsea fans, just an idea of where some recent Chelsea legends sat when they were players. So Frank Lampard, when he was a player, used to sit right here where Christensen sat, so number 4. And John Terry used to sit right next to him where Ruben Loftus-Cheek now sits. So Frank and John were good friends, used to sit there. Ashley Cole used to sit where Christian Pulisic now sits. So that was actually so a bit of a
Right, so we want the Chelsea team on this side, we want the Manchester United team on this side, Chelsea this side, Manchester United this side.
Manchester czy Manchester?
Chelsea this side.
Chelsea teraz, tutaj stoimy.
Still got some more people, some about to. Tell your school friends you captain Chelsea. That are injured or suspended, and the rest of the Chelsea coaching staff. Immediately outside is the family section, so this is the part of the stadium for younger children and their parents. It's the least expensive part of the stadium to buy a ticket. However, across from here, it's a little bit different. You can see all these glass boxes in the middle tier there. Immediately above the word Chelsea FC is the box of the owner of Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich. So that's where our owner will watch the games from. I said just now that outside is the family section. Until Mourinho arrived, this is where the away fans would sit. And Mourinho didn't like this. He felt they would annoy and upset our group sitting here. So he decided to move the away fans into this end of the stadium. Where it says Pride of London, you see some yellow seats. Our stadium has a capacity of just over 40,000, but we're really too small now. We're a successful club in a small stadium, so we need to build a bigger stadium. If you were able to go to the museum before the tour began, you might have seen the model for the new stadium. And when we build that, it will go up from 40,000 to 60,000.
Yeah, I have.
Chelsea were formed in 1905, so 114 years ago. We moved into the Athletic Stadium and we've been here ever since. We're very proud of that record. Not many teams have stayed in the same stadium throughout their history, and certainly not for 114 years. So every single Chelsea home game has been played out on that pitch. So a lot of history in front of your eyes there. As a point of interest, if ever you watch Chelsea on television, it's always filmed from this side. So the TV cameras are just above where the players' tunnel was, just above the next gantry and the next gantry up. So the action is always filmed from that side looking this way. There are a couple of cameras on this stand, but they're normally only used to film the players coming out of the tunnel at the start of each half, and also sometimes to focus in on the managers during the game. The TV and radio commentators, they sit right at the top of that stand, in the black seats in the middle, just below the roof. You'll see some black seats.